All right, ladies and gentlemen, high limit racing has made it here to the West Coast, and we're at our first stop at the Santa Maria Speedway here in Santa Maria, California. Here's a look at the racetrack up close, literally as if you were driving on, like we will tonight with our 410 sprint cars. Santa Maria, never been here before, so this is a first stop for both myself and I believe the Buch Motorsports 13. It's been quite a few years since they've had a national show here, you know, previously hosting the Outlaws and now the first time with High Limit. Looking at it, I feel like you classify this place maybe as a quarter mile, maybe just a tad bit bigger, but wide, racy, fairly flat, just a little bit of progressive banking up here to the outside wall. One of the interesting factors though is we were real close to the ocean, so we'll see how maybe the tide or moisture in the air, cool conditions, it's only going to be about a high about 68 today. We'll see how that plays into the track conditions, as they don't race wing 410 sprint cars here too often, you know, more of just like a weekly track, a lot of non-wing, maybe midgets. And yeah, we'll see what happens. We were kind of joking as a team. I feel like shape and size, you know, reminds me a little bit of Shelby County. So hopefully that brings us some good luck this afternoon with the 13 car, but here shortly we'll be firing up engine heat, hot laps, and qualifying. We have a full field of 410 sprint cars tonight. Of course, all of us travelers, and then a lot of local NARC and California competition. Quite the busy night just running around here. We ended up qualifying 4th though to start our night here at Santa Maria. Felt like I didn't even lift the entire, all the way around here. This place isn't super big, but you definitely can carry really good speed. And felt like it's a mix of like, some areas are already starting to kind of get hard, some areas have grip, and then some areas are still a little bit slimy. So you're kind of like dealing with all 3 of those at once in different areas of the track. And like the sun is really coming down on the back stretch, so it's kind of starting to slicken off there. Whereas the front stretch is still, you know, again, slimy and kind of grippy, and your car kind of almost does like a dance going down in a straight line. So we qualified 4th. We're going to start on the front row here of this heat race. We have to win to get into the dash, but I feel like we're right where we want to be, and you know, we really weren't that far off a quick time. So just a few small changes, and we'll be get this 13 car rolling here, and really excited to start our West Coast swing with a good qualifying run. All right, guys, so far things are off to a hot start tonight here at Santa Maria. Want to pause the video and share with you about the sponsor, Horsepower Hydration. Now, we got some Horsepower Hydration here, lemon lime flavor. It's kind of one of those days. I'm not sure if you guys know this, but on the West Coast, the hottest month of the year is August statistically. Now, of course, our West Coast swing being this month, we have lots of miles, lots of traveling, a lot of time outside in the sun, whether you're a driver, crew member, or just a race fan. So rapid hydration is important, and this electrolyte drink mix is a game changer on race day and is a huge part of my routine behind the wheel. So we're just gonna tear the top off here, add it to our water, 5 seconds of shaking, and then we got electrolyte rapid hydration on the go, and it actually tastes good. Again, racing in California, it's tough, man. The heat is brutal, and it's not easy for everyone involved with high limit traveling up and down the road. So having something like this is nice to fall back on and just feel good while we're at the races. So check out Horsepower Hydration. Link is at the top of the description, and you can use code HOLMES10 for 10% off. All right, let's go see if we can win this heat race from the pole. We won the heat race, did exactly what we needed to do. It's kind of tough starting on the pole there. Just the track got real slimy real quick once a couple guys moved to the bottom. So track's just extremely wet and feels kind of like, you know, probably what the beginning of hot laps felt like. So we'll be in the dash and go focus on that.
Tanner Holmes! And stash the wheel stops on a number 12. Not bad at all.
All right, we're in a good spot here. We're gonna be starting first, second, or third. They're just finishing up the dash spin and just go out there and try to lay down some good laps and prepare for the feature. mean? I just obviously kind of have to go where it's not. Well, my guys are packing up now. Of course, any night you lead laps and don't bring it home in victory lane, your head spins a little bit. You just think about, what could be different? What did I need more maybe from my car? What could I have changed behind the wheel? And, ultimately tonight we put ourselves in position. We put together a really good night on tour, on the podium. Everything you would ask for, start to finish. Just wish we could have held on to the lead longer or maybe fought back. And really tough racetrack tonight at Santa Maria, but really, thankful for my guys, and of course for us to be complaining and be frustrated about a third place run is good. We're right where we want to be. But let's go check out the track. We'll talk a little bit more about the race. So up here looking at Santa Maria, this is the corner where I maybe would have done something a little bit different. We were running the top in 1 and 2, and then I ran the bottom in 3 and 4 early. That's kind of where everyone was running. And ultimately, and I actually need to watch it back, it seemed like a couple cars behind me started to move up, and I was trying to protect because, again, it seemed like the bottom was real good most of the night, and ultimately maybe moving up would have given me a chance to hold the lead a little bit longer. Once we got into traffic, cars were kind of just going everywhere. I was trapped, the guys behind me were trapped, but one of those situations where leading might not have been as ideal, and Reitzel and McFadden were able to sneak on by. And maybe they might have just been a little better in traffic too, where their cars could, again, make the speed to pass or just sneak by at the right time from a mistake, where I just felt super stuck. And I was trying, man, like I was trying, and started moving around a lot, but ultimately, again, the lap cars were very similar in pace to us just because so much moisture came back and stayed around most of the night. 1 and 2 was actually even narrower than 3 and 4. 3 and 4 was kind of starting to break in the middle, and you could see it kind of widen, where 1 and 2, the top was really fast, and then the straightaways even raced a little bit narrow because there was some grip, at least on the front stretch, where the back stretch, was in the sun more of the day. So just interesting conditions, a lot of fun. Santa Maria, hopefully we can come back here, and glad that we started our West Coast swing exactly where we want to be on the podium. Again, it's just your head, you just think, man, what could we have done different? Because anytime you lead, maybe 15 laps or so, you think you have a pretty good shot to obviously win the race. You just have to put it together from, lap 1 to lap 35. So, and used a lot of tear-offs tonight. We started with 40 and came in, I think, with just 15 left. But anyway, want to thank you guys for watching. Thanks for being a part of this. We are going to continue. We just came from Knoxville, traveled 2,000 miles. We're starting our West Coast swing up front, and we have more nights to go here and, momentum to carry. So we'll see you guys in the next show. Deuces.